Hello everyone, I'm ready to start. It took me a while this morning to get the papers together and what I wanted to do. So I want to make a folio. This one is more like an in-half journal, but it's still going to be a folio, I guess. Journal folio, I guess it would be. Anyway, this paper here I'm going to use is scrapbook paper, and it is from Hobby Lobby and maybe Hobbycraft in the UK, but the Paper Studio is the brand, and then it's Joyful Gathering. If you're interested in, and it was $21.99, but I got it half price when they have, you know, every other week they have that 50% off of Paper Studio. So yeah, there's some nice, well, you can see here, there's fall designs. I'm probably not going to use like Thankful, but I may use a section out of that or something like that. But I kind of like that one too. I don't remember if I, maybe next time. Anyway, so these are the ones I picked out for today. And so I'm trying to think exactly how I want to do it. One of these, you would need 2 sheets, but they could be the same 2 sheets. You know, a lot of times we get 2 sheets of everything, and or 3 sheets, and then, you know, you can use both the same kind if you want. I don't know if that goes that way, maybe. I like this one because it goes all different ways. I love paisley anyway. So I decided to go with different color, different designs for the front and for the back. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is decide which one is going to be the outside cover. And I think I want this one to be my cover outside. And then this one will be on the inside. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I coffee dyed this. That's a little wrinkly. I'm going to score, we know half of this is 6, but we want a spine. I do. So I'm going to go 6 1/4 this way. This is kind of what you know, you could do this with a file folder or any card stock. It really doesn't even have to be a scrapbook paper, but it's kind of nice that it's 12 inches across. Otherwise you only have 11, and then it's, yeah, 11 by 8 1/2. Then I did 1/4 on this side. So now I have a I have a 1/2 inch spine that way. Let me just hold on. Keep sliding around. This is always, probably should have put a couple scores in there. Hold on, let me rescore this one. It doesn't want to fold very easy. I'm not used to scrapbook paper, so I don't use it very often. But when I saw this the other, I got this about a month ago, I guess. It's still not folding on the fold. Why do I have so many issues? I just can't do anything without having issues. I guess it's fine. All right. Now this is going to be our outside cover, okay? So now I'm going to fold this up, this bottom part. We're going to make some pockets here. And I want it to be 9 inches high, but I guess it doesn't matter which way I fold it up. Yeah, so we want it 9 inches, the height. So just make sure you put your paper in so that you get it to where you want. I don't think it matters on this paper. So I'm just going to go 9 here. Or you could go 8 1/2 or whatever you want. All right, so now this gets folded up. Now I was debating whether to cut this out of here so that there's not so much bulk right there, but we'll kind of wait and see. Make sure it all lines up. I haven't seen anyone do this, so I don't know if it's been done, but I just didn't want to do a file folder. Okay, at least not today I didn't. All right, so now we have that. And then this inside part, which is going to go right down to here. It doesn't even have to go all the way down. Oh, yes, it does. Yes, it does. I lied. It does. All right, and so that we're going to cut. Here, let me get my, well, let me just mark it. I'm going to mark it that way. I'll put it in my cutter then. Okay, so we're going to cut this part. So I'm sure you can see where I'm going with this. Sort of. All right, I'll put that up there. Hopefully we get a nice straight cut. And then you have this extra piece here you can use for something. All right. Now, I'm sorry, we need to get the scoreboard out again. And we're going to score a 1/4 inch on this side of the 6th and a 1/4 inch on this side of the 6th of the 6th. I probably should have done it this way. So I'll do it this way to give us, it doesn't even look like it's, I did, whoops. That's so weird. I guess it, whoops, I wanted to go this way, I'm sorry. All right, so these will fit together just like this. All right, so now we have all of this, and I'm hoping that this is all going to work. It's possible I'm going to have to trim it a little bit, but my thought is I'm going to sew around all of this, but not yet. So I don't want to, let me see if I can just clamp that together there. All right, it came off. I mean, it's out of alignment just a little bit, but I think, and a lot of that has to do with the way, when I coffee dye paper, it doesn't always shrink up the same way. All right, so now I could put an extra tape in here or fabric in here to make this a little stronger, but I don't know. I'm going to put a journal right down the center of this. I think it feels strong enough. It feels strong enough to me. Okay. So we're to this part here. Now I want to put flips on the sides. So I'm just going to put them inside between this and this back page. So that will go in there. Now these are going to have to be trimmed just because I know that they're going to buckle. Yeah. So let me get my little cutter here. And this one I saw I'm just going to trim it off just a little bit. So this idea I did get from Tanya at Tatty Treasures. She kind of did her Edith Holden, not the journal part, but the flips. She sort of did like this, where she attached them first and made the bones and then decorated. Okay, so I'm going to take this big envelope. These are been coffee dyed. And I'm going to put it in between those two. And then we're going to have to trim this one. So I'll leave this trimmer out. I think these might be the only two that I have to shorten. But it doesn't matter. We'll use this part for the... And I could have done that after... I mean, you could have covered these and then did it, but I don't want to wait that long to show you. Okay, so that's going to come like that, and I'm hoping these will stay in place once I get some glue in there. But I'm going to sew around here. Okay, so now I can add in another envelope. I wonder if I want, I was thinking of full length also here, which this one would have to be cut down. This one needs a hinge because it doesn't have a flap. But I thought it would be nice to have a window. Okay, let's do this. So we have to cut this down. I don't want anything sticking over the top of the journal. So I think I'm going to keep it, this part in line with it. Are you guys okay? Just checking to see if I'm still recording. Who knows? I tried to make sure I emptied out my old videos so that I wouldn't run out of room. All right, so now I can either cut this open or I can stuff from this side. I don't really like to make tags that long. Let me see. Let me just stick one of these in there. Well, that works pretty good, but it's not as probably wide enough. It's a little easier if I cut this side down, I think. So we'll just glue that part up. I need to make a hinge for this real quick. So I'm just going to take some of my scrap paper. Let's see. I actually coffee dyed this because it was pretty white. So I think we could just stick it in like this. I'll just let's see. I want to make sure that it would be better. No, I don't want to cut it that way. Let's put it this way. Let's see what happens. Actually, I folded it the wrong way. Well, I have now. I didn't be. Oh. I didn't put it on the right glue side. Seems like lately I cannot make a hinge. I still did it wrong, I think. Oh, my goodness. Okay. Sorry. Okay, so I want it to go inside here. So I need it to go on this direction. Okay, don't tell me I did it wrong again. Okay, so I want this one to go in there, like so. And this one, I don't know, maybe I want this on the outside part. I think I like that better. You can do this any old way you want, but, you know, whatever you have available to you. Okay, and then I'll put this one on the inside. And I was concerned about this getting like too thick here. You know, so when I close it, it will have this thickness out here. But I'm hoping it won't be a problem. Just don't know though. I guess if I do have a thickness problem, out here, I could run something down this side. We'll see. I think it'll work, I hope. Okay. So now we've got this big envelope here, and I thought I could just put another, well, I think I'll put it on the outside. No. Started thinking about the other issue instead of this. All right, so I'm going to put this out here. And then, let's see, I'll find another envelope. Well, I had this pulled out. So now I can put an envelope in here. But these envelopes, so that if you fold that out, that won't work. Let's see. It's just another one there. I want it so that when you open it, you can fold out the other side. So it would have to go in this one like that, right? Okay. And see, we don't have to add these right now because we just need to get these that are not going to be attached to, because all the other ones that we add can attach to these, if you see what I'm saying, right? We don't have to stick it inside. That won't be, then it won't be too bulky. All right, so I'll get these all glued in. They're not holding very well. I haven't done this, you know, I just came up with the idea and I just started going for it. Okay, so then, where are you guys? I have 2 envelopes this size. Nope, hold on. I'm gonna have to size up envelopes in my stash because they're getting, are these it? I think these are it. No? wonder if, because I folded it up now, yeah, those were supposed to fit there. I don't know why these don't fit, because they fit on my sample. Where's my sample? And my sample must be taller. See, they fit on there. I don't know. All right, well, let's see. I thought I could make these here. So we could put a pocket here, and then this would be journaling space. And so we can still do that. I'm just gonna have to cut them down. Or I can just make a flip, I guess. I don't know. All right, so I am going to glue these in. I'm not going to glue them in. I'm going to stabilize them because I'm going to sew around all of it. And I thought if I just put a little dab of glue here, and that way I can make sure everything's going to line up. I don't really want to sew it, and then it won't. I think it is going to show a little bit. So, okay, this one is not going to show. This one is. So how about, I just put a little stencil there, and that way, I wonder if I should stencil it with kind of a blue. I don't think I have a blue handy. Let me see. I think my ink had this. Actually, this blue I think looks pretty good with most. Don't have a brush. Okay, that's where I need some of my little extra dauber things. Yeah, that blue looks pretty good with that. Actually, I like it to have the little bit of the brown and a little bit of the blue. See what happens. Oh, you know what? This doesn't work very well on this. I forgot about that. Ugh, that's gross. All right, clean that up. Hold on, let me get a brush. Oops, sorry there. Move them. And then I need to label my little drawers that I made. This should be close enough for me to reach instead of having to get off my chair. Let's do this. I wonder if that's... this. I'll probably end up okay, let me get that blue again. All right, it's kind of a blue-green, but if it peeks out, we have a little bit of, can you guys see that? If it peeks out a little bit, I think it might look okay. Okay, so I'm going to stop the video. Let's see, what time am I? Okay, I'm going to stop the video. I'm going to sew around all this, and then I'll come back, okay? Okay, I'm back. So I only have like 30 minutes or less to kind of go over this again. So like I said, I put my envelopes inside behind the two pages. And then when I close it up like this, it looks like this. And it's not too bad. I mean, it's showing a little bit on the outside. I don't think this one isn't showing that much. And maybe if I had worked a little harder at getting this really tucked in there, it might have been fine. But I sewed all around it. This part here needs to be trimmed. I can see that because I was sewing from this inside, not the outside. So I'm just gonna quickly do a little trim here. So I think this is going to work good. I think it's a nice little way to use your scrap. And this is your typical weight. It's not your lightweight scrapbook paper. In fact, I don't even know if it tells you what the weight is, but it's feels kind of cardstocky, but not quite. Like a 80-pound. Let's see, does it? For some reason, they don't like to give you the weights. Nope. No. They should give you more info. But, yeah, it doesn't. Probably look it up online and see if somebody knows what this weight is. But it's a good sturdy, you know, it's not real thin. But it's not double-sided. And that's what I wanted it to look like it was a double-sided piece. Okay. So I think that's cute. Okay. So now what I want to do is I want to put eyelets in here because I think I may use the elastic for the signature. But even if I don't, I can still run my signature through the eyelet here. I can always make a hole here and do a 3 pamphlet stitch. Or I can just run the elastic and tie it. And I don't know which way I want to do that. So I have to make sure, though, if I'm going to do the tie, you know, that my paper, I leave enough room for the paper to slide in there. Let's see, what is a... just fold one of these in half that I've got just to see. Yeah, see, I'll have to cut pages down, but that's okay. I don't mind. Okay, so I'm going to go let's see. I feel like I don't want to go a 1/2 inch up. Let's say 1/4 inch. A 1/4 inch puts me right on the same. All right, so I'm going to have to go a 1/2 inch up. So I'm just going to eyeball this. This is right in the middle. I mean, eyeballing it, but I'm using a, now let's go up the same distance here. Okay. Oh, sorry. Okey-doke. All right. Yeah, I thought I wanted to make sure I put this in to avoid any issues later. Just get it done. The eyelets. Oh, let's see. Do we want, I guess we want the eyelets to go this way. And even if you didn't put, you know, if I didn't want to put a journal in here, and I could always run a tassel or something through there. I don't think I'm going to have to, hopefully I don't have to put lace or anything going down the spine. Okay, so that's good. Closes fairly good. I guess we're going to have to close this with a wraparound. Depends on how thick it gets, I guess. Because you could, you can't get in there with the eyelet. I'm upside down. Make sure I keep right side up. All right, so now I have pulled out, let me throw this back for a minute. These are papers that I have. And I printed, like these, I printed, these are kits that I've already had. I don't know, I don't remember whose this is, but I will try to find it and see whose it belongs to. I've been going into, I have a file on my computer that I put all the fall digitals in. The only problem was I put the digitals in there, but I didn't put where they came from. And so there I can't remember where these came from. But I remembered that I loved them. I do have, no, I looked it up already. I couldn't find it even because I hold on, let me just check one more time. Oh, great. There was stuff in that. Okay, I was just going to see if, you know, these are all pretty recent ones. Which one would that be? Happiness and Crafting. I don't know. I have everybody's written down, but how would I know where they go? That's, yeah, I think I did look, and I did not make a, no, I'm going to print out some of these. These are Hobby Helper Basic Autumn. And there's 26 pages, but I love this blue, and I think it's going to go nice with the colors of the journal, of this folio. So I'm going to try to print out some of those. Oh, I have so many things. Okay. So anyway, I don't know whose those belong to. This belongs to Junk by Steph. She has these papers in her kit, or in her Etsy store right now. These were blue, I can't remember the name of them. It starts with an A, I think, like Azure or something. And then this one, yeah, here's some more of those. So I thought these would be good to cover our envelopes with. And this one here is Ink and Page Design, and I love this lady here. She's like a fairy. So I printed out a few things from them. And then here's some more of those. Then I just printed out these little things. Let me find the blue. Okay. So some of them I cut smaller because we're going to have smaller envelopes. I mean, I printed them 2 to a sheet. And get more for the buck that way. Isn't this pretty? I don't know what I'm going to use that one on, but it's, I don't even know who did that. Oh, who did this? I think it's, from this same kit. I'm not sure. I hate it when I forget. I should write them all down before I even start, right? Okay, this is more of the pumpkin, and this is more of the pumpkin here. Okay, so then I did put this piece in here before I sewed it in, because I wanted to be able to get in there and glue that shut. Okay, so I don't know, should we do like the rusty pumpkin color on these and the blues on this side? Or we should mix it up. All right, so now we're gonna do that. Let's just cover this. I wanted to put some more envelopes in here or something. On here, in here, I found these two little envelopes that fit in these pockets here. I think I need to like glue that shut. And so then we still, of course, have the pocket here. But I'm thinking of putting it this way. And then these little note cards fit in there. And then plus we could put other little pieces of ephemera in there. Well, as long as they, you know, can lift up. But this is journaling space here. It's already pre-done. And we'll just cover this part. Okay, and then we can add, all right, so in order to flip, when it's in this book, and I want to flip it out this way, everything has to go something like this, and then it'll flip out from there. So I don't know if I really want to put a whole bunch of little tiny pockets in there. The smaller one looks better on top of the bigger one. You guys see what I'm doing? Okay, so there's one and there's two pockets, and then this one, I'm not going to worry about making necessarily a pocket here. I think I may just cover the whole thing and put a pocket on here. But I could still do that, because I could still put a journal card inside there. Okay, so on this side is the same situation. On the back. But I kind of wanted to do some kind of a design, you know, cut this out so it had some kind of a shape to it. But if that way I couldn't put anything in this pocket. I mean, I couldn't put another flip. Let's see if even though these aren't necessarily the right pot sizes, I want to see how these flips could go. All right, so I could put that like that. This one would be up here. Or I can do it this way too. Yeah, I guess we could just do it any old way we want. I didn't open this one yet. I could open it and put maybe two of these the same size. the more pockets I put, the more I have to decorate. But that's okay. I like to decorate. Okay, so we could do something like that and put, you know, 2 small flips and decorate this. Make these backs journaling spots, maybe. Okay, I'll try that. Okay. Yeah, let's do that there. This one here, I think I might want to do a long envelope. Hold on, let me find it. I have one handy. What did I get for cleaning? This is a bigger one at least. We'll do this and then a small one on top of that. Like that. And we can put these actually, no, because I want to make that a place for a journal card inside there. So that could work that way. All right. So now that can close like that. And this one like that. And then we have our little guys. Where to go? Down here. Okay. Put a couple paper clips. Just to hold this in place right now. Oh, I had these 2. I'm trying to think, do I want... Because I don't want a journal card sliding in that way. The journal card has to come in this way. So these are going to have to go out here. Okay, that'll work. All right. So the journal card can come in this way. Okay, I guess that's okay. I don't know. But I want to put, so this would be on this side. I just want to cut out these are flipped open. Okay. I'm not going to worry about it, that part yet. I'm sorry. This is, you know, where you're trying to get it figured out, right? Okay. I've got this window. So I may do a napkin over this, which I haven't pulled out yet. So let's just cover one page to see what happens. Yeah, see, I really like this, these pages with this. You know, I think I'm going to just, since we have so many to cover, I would have to rip off. I was thinking of just doing square sheets. This is where one of those Tim Holtz trimmers would be good that has the edge. Oh, I think I'm gonna rip it. I mean, really, you do need to have to do the things. I shouldn't have, but see, I don't know where I'm gonna use the page. So that's why I do it on borderless. This happens. Oh, I gotta tell you guys this story. Do I have, how much time? All right, you know how I use a friction pen and, you know, you write and then you can erase it, okay? Well, I got my mom some of these, and she writes letters all the time, and she always uses whiteout on everything when she messes up. And so she mailed 2 birthday cards out to my nieces, her granddaughters, and they both came back, and they said, I mean, the post office said no address, okay? So I said, oh my gosh, Mom, I know what happened. I said, where did you mail them from? And she said that my brother took them out to the mailbox and put them in the mailbox. Well, it's only been like, you know, 90 to 100 degrees, at least that past few days, or this whole year, whole summer. Anyway, so evidently when he put them in the mailbox, because the metal was so hot, it took the name off of the outside of the envelope. It erased it. And the other part of this story is my sister, she wrote a letter to my sister, and my sister said, Mom, I got your letter, but a lot of it was missing. I mean, it was all like somebody tried to steam it open. Well, what happened was the same situation. You know, they left it out in the sun or something. Anyway, it was funny. And then we also had an issue where she wrote a check to pay the cable bill, and they sent it back and said it was, the check was, I don't know if they sent the check back or something, but anyway, missing information. And I said, you know, if you write a check with that, anybody could erase those and put in whatever number they want if they knew it was that kind of, but evidently it did come off. Part of the check that she wrote was missing, like her signature or something. I don't remember what it was now, but it never dawned on me. So she couldn't understand what I was trying to tell her. As I said, you know, it's friction that when you rub it, that's the friction that causes the heat that erases the ink. I said, but if you put it in the refrigerator, it'll come back. So that's where she couldn't understand. So I took one of the ones that came back in the mail, because it wasn't completely missing. And let me see. No, we won't even fit on that. Okay, so let's do a pumpkin color. Yeah, these are too small for those. So, let's see, where was I? Oh, I hate this ripping. Oh, I'm sorry. So I took the hair dryer, her hair dryer, and I put the hair dryer on the envelope and erased the whole entire front. The only good thing is her return address labels. That's why they sent it back to her, because she had a return address on it. So I took the heater, the hair dryer, and I blew it till all the ink was gone on the page. And then I put it in the freezer. And then my brother walked over to, it was a few minutes later, I forgot, you know, my brother walks over to the freezer to get something. And he goes, "Why is this in the freezer?" And so when he got it out of the freezer, I don't know what that's, oh, I see. When he got it out of the freezer, all of it was back again, all the wording. I'm probably wasting this paper, but oh well. So, she could not believe that. She says, how would they think to do that? In other words, the company that made the eraser. Yeah, so I used to do that with my grandkids. I'd tell them to draw me a picture, and then I would take the iron, because in my sewing room, and they draw me a picture with it, and then I'd take my iron and I would iron it, and all of it, their picture would be gone. And they like, "What happened? How did you get that out of there?" And blah, blah, blah. And I said, "Well, this is a secret ink pen. It's a secret, it's secret ink." And they go, "What do you mean?" So then I took it and I put it in the freezer. And a little bit later, took it out, and their picture was back. They could not believe that. So if you have a friction pen and grandkids that have never done that, it's fun to play with them. Okay, where did you go? There you are. I hope this sticks. Okay. Get this piece on. Oh, that's pretty. Let me see if I can't ink in here. I can go back and do a little bit more, but yeah, it probably won't stick because I lifted it up. Okay, so there's those two covered. I think this is going to be really neat, you guys. I really like it. And it's, you know, simple. Pretty simple. Okay, so I think I'm going to have to stop because my time is going to be up here. But in the meantime, I might go ahead and put some more fronts on. I'm just going to use mostly plain. And that way, when I go to put any kind of pockets, I love this sky, but then again, it never fits. Or maybe, yeah, well, I could probably cut off a little bit of this. I make a pocket with it. It's pretty bright. Maybe I'll coffee dye it. Good idea. I'll do that. So, so I hope you guys want to put one of these together with me, and we'll see how it looks. What am I missing here? I thought I had another pocket here. Didn't I? Yes, I had. What did I do with them? Oh, I probably took them off because I did unclipped it, didn't I? And put it back. I'm trying to think, where clip it in at? Is it on this one? I guess I could put it on that side. All right, I'm gonna clip it. I don't know where it's gonna go. Oh, I just need a paper clip. It's gonna go somewhere. I may add more. Alrighty, guys. I will see you in the next video. Okay? Talk to you soon. Bye.